Let's talk about Hitler.
That'll make sense later.
I'm immaculately conceived.
I don't know what to do.
I swear I'm not stupid.
Take it or leave it. Sometimes you just want to leave it.
If I gotta borrow my mom's underwear, I'm borrowing her underwear.
You just, yeah.
Misa likes the Jar Jar Binks.
I'm not gonna edit it out.
Oh no.
I don't know. Like I think I'm just pretty great. Just staying on the
Sucks to
planet.
suck.
Why are you saying it with a question mark?
Clap, bitch.
All right. 3, 2, 1. Action.
And we're live. I'm Anna.
And I'm Jessica.
And this is Why Are You Yelling? Welcome back to another F1 race review. Today we are reviewing round 19 of the 2025 Formula One season. We are talking about the United States Grand Prix, also known as Austin, Texas. Yeehaw.
Howdy. How y'all doing?
We're going to be saying lots of y'alls, which we usually do anyway.
Yeah.
But just know that it's authentic.
For sure.
And not at all influenced by our hats.
No.
Or our badges, because we're there's a new sheriff in town.
Sure. Oh, yeah.
You see it. There's a new sheriff in town, and its name is Waypod.
Yes. Okay. So, something I wanted to say before we jump. God, sorry. I'm so distracted by myself. Okay. Something I wanted to say before we jump into all the messy, yummy, juicy bits.
Love a messy, yummy, juicy bits. But before,
I just want to give a shout out to the F1 TV broadcast this weekend because we complained, Carlos Sainz complained, and they listened, honey. I didn't see, I don't think we saw the garage but one time for like a split second, and it was Oliver Behrman's dad. And I mean, like 2 or 3 seconds, done. Immediately cut away. It was like the TV director was like, no! The broadcast director was like, no! And it was just race cars. And it was so much better, and we saw so many different battles. The only complaint I have this time, since they clearly want notes and they're listening, I found it slightly annoying when we were reviewing the start again at some point, but then a battle was happening, and the battle was happening in the tiny little screen, like on the left where the timing is and everything. And we're still watching the replay of the start, and I'm like, I don't care. The start was forever ago.
Yeah.
I want to see what's currently happening. If there is a battle, honey, cut to the start again later.
Yeah, there were 2 different times, like within the race, that they were doing the replay of the start. And I'm like, we already did the second time. I was like, we did this already.
I'm like, don't care.
We've moved on.
Yeah, we've moved. Thank you. Next.
I will say, I do like that they were utilizing the inset screen.
Way more
the small
time.
one. They were using it a lot more to show when multiple battles were happening.
Yes.
And I'm like, thank you for taking notes. Because, I mean, I'm glad that Carlos said something that...
Me too.
But I think he just saw what we were all saying online, because I'm like, does he go back and watch the broadcast?
Well, he pointed out the fact that he had like 5 overtakes in Singapore. Not a single one made TV.
I bet he was talking to like friends and family that were watching the race, and he was like, so...
Probably his girlfriend that was there.
and was like, what happened to did you see anything I did on track? And they're like, nah, they didn't show you once.
And
he was like, that's some bullshit.
Yeah, and then Lewis and Alonso's back. So I just think they did a way better job this time. Chef's kiss.
Yeah, I agree.
Good job.
I liked it.
So with that being said, we'll get into our podiums because we're going to have 2 to talk about.
Yes.
So for the sprint race podium, we have Max Verstappen,
yay,
George Russell,
ooh,
and Carlos Sainz.
Let's go, Carlos.
Listen, watch him cook.
When luck is in his favor, he is so right and spot on when he's like, I've been driving at this level all season, but I have been so unlucky with so many things going wrong that are outside of my control that when they do finally go in my favor, he's like, look what happens.
Look.
He's like, I haven't gotten better. I'm driving the same way I've been.
Exactly. What is that called? When luck is just something meets something, opportunity meets something else, timing?
Success is when, or luck is when opportunity meets preparation.
Okay.
Or something like that.
Whatever. We're not scientists.
I don't know. Very scientific.
So our Grand Prix podium, you have Max Verstappen again. Lando Norris,
Mhm.
and Charles Leclerc.
Let's go, Charles.
Charles killed it.
I was so excited. I was screaming at my TV
Oh my God.
multiple times throughout this race.
Oh my God.
Even when I probably didn't necessarily need to be screaming, but I was like, go Charles!
No, it was exciting. It was
Yeah.
great. It was just fabulous.
Mm-hmm.
We talk about how Alonso's hard to pass, honey. Good luck passing Charles.
You
Good
know,
luck.
someone pointed out online, I'm very involved in the F1 community discourse, or at least I see a lot of it online. And someone pointed out that, a lot of people like forget or discount like the fact that Charles is literally, I'd say, one of the top 5 drivers on the grid right now. People forget because he's got a shitbox for a car.
Most people know. It's just I don't think he gets to showcase it all the time. And so I guess maybe people forget until they're like, holy crap, look at him.
Until he takes P2 at the start of the race. And then he's like, you ain't passing me for at least 20 something laps. I mean, he held him at bay on used softs. And he used those softs so well in that race that a lot of people could have been mistaken to think, oh, the softs are going to be a good tire to switch on to when it's time to pit. It's like, nah.
No, everybody
the
thought
medium,
that.
the medium was the superior tire, but he was utilizing those softs so well. I'm just like, chef's kiss. Beautiful.
So with our constructor standings, we have no change. However, Ferrari has closed the gap from 27 points to 7 points for second place, and Red Bull is only 3 points behind Ferrari. So
second for the constructors is heating up.
But that's because Kimi, he didn't have a very successful weekend.
Yeah.
But to go from 27 points to 7, like they closing the gap. They just need a good weekend in Mexico.
Yeah.
And so now the driver standings, we had some changes. We have Nico Hülkenberg. He went from 10th to 9th. Carlos Sainz went from 12th to 11th. Yuki Tsunoda went from 17th to 16th.
Okay.
And Ollie Behrman went from 19th to 18th. So they all just moved up a place.
All right.
So
got
fun
some
for
movers
them.
and shakers. Movers and
Moving
shakers.
it around.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we can get to our fun facts.
Yes.
My favorite segment, as everyone knows. Max Verstappen becomes the first driver to win 7 Grand Prix in the United States. 4 in Austin, 2 in Miami, and 1 in Las Vegas.
Super Max, man.
Yeah.
I would just like to say, I don't remember how many episodes ago this was. I was like, I still think Max can get it. And it was still quite, and it was kind of like, girl, please. What?
It was right. It was probably right when Laurent Mekies. I'm going to say his name 100 times and get it wrong every time. Mekies.
Just say it every way possible, and
Yes.
one of them has to be right.
Yeah, just select which one you like.
Yes.
I think we said right around the time when he became team principal for Red Bull. And then you see that first race kind of after that happened, and you're like, okay.
I just still think it's Max.
It's like Max is, you know what? He just proves time and again why he is considered by many to be the best driver on the Formula One grid right now. I mean, it's really hard to argue against it. I mean, it's no shade to Lewis Hamilton, no shade to Fernando Alonso.
No.
They're legends in their own right. But right at this current time, within the past couple of years, I mean, Max is just on a different plane of existence.
He's in his prime.
Yeah, I mean, give him a car that's okay, and he can do things with it that other drivers just wouldn't be able to.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he's also just consumed with racing in like every aspect of his life. Like sim racing all day, every day. Now he's probably next year going to compete in the 24-hour Nürburgring. Like, dude is just like getting into like his GT license, his GT3. Yeah, so he can race GT3 cars. I'm like, dude, it's crazy. Like
he just wants to do it all.
Born and bred.
He's literally like, okay, I've won how many? 4 F1 championships. What's next? He's like, what other? I feel like he's the kind of person that like is continually looking for like his next like conquest, his next thing that he can achieve and do and conquer, and like trying to figure it out and optimize everything to be the fastest. And I'm just like, you know what? That's something. Not everyone has that.
No.
Some people are naturally talented and can nurture that gift. And, you have a Lewis Hamilton who's naturally talented, but also worked very hard to develop his craft, paired with Mercedes and had that, that near decade of dominance. But, I
think they're completely.
That's just so different, I feel like, from it. But from like Max's mindset.
Yeah, I don't think they're similar in their mind. I think they have championship winner mindsets, like they're clearly champions, so they have a champion mindset. But I think that their approach is different.
Oh, yeah.
And
different people need different things to nurture that hunger to win.
Yeah.
And so Lewis has expressed before, he has many interests outside of racing and he nurtures those. He's actively participating in those because it fills up his cup, so to speak, to then give that he can now then give his all into the racing and stuff. And then Max is like, oh no, all I want to do is race.
All I want to do is race,
no matter what.
Yeah.
So Max has scored 119 of a possible 133 points in the last 5 Grand Prix weekends. Killing it.
Oh my God.
The definition of killing it.
It's nuts.
Just that. And no one, I've heard multiple people state this, that no F1 driver has ever come from behind with as much of a deficit as Max has had.
I saw that.
No F1 driver has ever defeated that deficit, overcome that deficit to then win the championship. So that would be something truly crazy.
If anyone could do it.
If anyone could, it's Max.
It's Max.
Never count him out. You can never.
Y'all should have known better.
Yeah. So Max finished 1 minute, 12 seconds behind the race winner in Hungary just 6 races ago.
Oh, yeah, that was a stat.
That was a stat last time.
Yeah.
Where, you look at 6 races ago, he was finishing a full almost a lap behind the race winner. And he has just been killing it recently. So he's now 40 points off the championship lead. That deficit was 104 points only 4 races ago.
Y'all.
I mean, cannot be stated enough. Crazy.
It's insane.
He's just on a rampage.
It's beautiful.
It's
beautiful.
This was the 5th consecutive Grand Prix to be won from pole this season, with the winning driver leading 281 out of 294 laps in that time.
Wow.
Max now has 122 career podium finishes, tied with Sebastian Vettel for 3rd on the all-time list.
Oh, Vettel.
Yeah. So this podium in Austin was Max Verstappen's 5th consecutive podium finish. He only scored 5 podium finishes in the first 14 races this year, or Grand Prix this year.
Listen,
the numbers speak for themselves. I mean,
somebody did some witchcraft. I mean, Laurent Mekies is like, I sense more money. I sense a raise. That's insane.
Yeah. And we mentioned in previous episodes, I really wonder if the shift with Red Bull just was coincidentally timed with Laurent Mekies replacing Christian Horner as team principal. I wonder if that was coincidental and that they were always going to make that shift at that point in the year, or if he truly has had that much of an impact on the team.
I don't know. I don't know. Oh, you know what I did see about Christian Horner? That case that we talked about and how it was actually still in some courts in England or whatever was settled.
Oh.
So apparently they settled within the past few weeks.
Okay.
Too little, too late now.
Yeah, really.
See ya, fam. Oh my God. And then Lewis Hamilton, them asking him if Christian Horner was to join the team. And Lewis said,
Absolutely not.
He goes, I'm not even going to entertain it. Absolutely not. 0. And I'm like,
Lewis, if there's one person who's going to be outspoken and completely throw the entirety of his might and weight behind not letting somebody in Christian Horner join the team, he's the one that's going to be come hell or high water, that's not happening.
And I mean, who are you going to pick, Christian Horner or Lewis Hamilton? I'm picking Lewis Hamilton. What do I want to just, no offense to Christian Horner, but from a brand perspective.
Oh, for sure.
I'm not going to pick a disgraced team principal with all this drama around
and broiled
him.
in scandal.
Exactly.
No, I'm picking Lewis Hamilton, who, for all intents and purposes, seems to be pretty wholesome, living a good life, throws his weight and support behind good causes, is very involved in charity, is very involved in supporting equality for opportunity for people of color and for women, especially in motorsport, but just across the board, and for education.
Just literally there's no question. There's no comparison.
Literally.
You don't even need a pros cons list, honey.
I know.
Not, I didn't mean that to you. I was like, you don't need.
I'm aware.
I know.
Moving on.
Anyway,
hard transition. Sorry,
Christian.
P2 for Lando Norris was the McLaren driver's 15th podium finish of the season, more than any other driver. Lando has reduced the championship deficit to teammate Oscar Piastri to 14 points.
Yeah, I mean, he's doing his part in that regard, but man.
It's so funny that Lando is reducing the deficit to Oscar, who's currently leading the championship, but no one's talking about it. Everyone's all like, Max. They're like, Max gonna do it. And we're like, he does also have to pass Lando as well.
Oh, yeah.
And they're like, it's a foregone conclusion.
Yeah, we're just like, well, what? Yeah. You know, Lando, I think it's almost like he's not going under the radar, but it's a little more just like putting my head down, do what I got to do, and just trying to do it.
He's like a sleeper cell. He's like baby steps. He's just like, I'm creeping, wanna creep. Isn't that a song? TLC?
You're asking me. I'm like,
yeah. You're like, I have no idea.
I'm like Scrubs. I know Scrubs.
Back me up, chat.
the one person who will comment and be nice. Hi.
Hello, one person who will comment. We love you. Hearts. Or wait, how do the kids do the heart? They do
this stupid shit.
Oh, how do you? I'm throwing up gang
Middle
signs
finger
now.
goes down, and then these.
Oh, and then you don't involve the thumb at all.
No,
I don't like that.
No,
I can't. My fingers don't want to do that. Oh, maybe I don't. It looks weird. Okay, we're gonna stop that.
Sorry, guys. Okay,
moving on. Cut all that.
Cut.
Charles Leclerc, who finished P3 for Ferrari, has now completed a full year without a race win.
Stop it.
His last victory was Austin 2024.
What? He was just on the podium a lot then, I guess,
Yeah.
after that, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Okay. Me. What?
This was Ferrari's first podium finish for 6 Grand Prix. And Charles is the highest driver in the championship without a win this season. He currently sits at 5th in the driver standings.
Yeah. Charles is just, like we said earlier, on another planet, just defense, crazy. And then poor Lando was in that DRS sandwich for a while.
Mm.
I mean, that was just, Lewis is in his rear view. And
Charles
then
is ahead.
It's just.
And Lando's like, mother freaking Charles Leclerc, can I just get past you, please? Get out of the way. I thought it was very funny on the F1 TV broadcast. It was, I think it was Julian Palmer. And I think I messaged you about it. He basically said Lando Norris was being too predictable in his moves of trying to get past Charles Leclerc. And that he's like, you know exactly what he's going to do and when he's going to do. He's going to do switch back. And it's like, try something different, please. And eventually he did.
Yeah.
And he got it. He got the move and made it past Charles. But I thought that was funny there. He was like, try something else.
Jordan was pretty saucy, spicy.
Yeah.
He even, with Alpine, they were like, hold position. And then he goes, oh, yeah, better really hold on to that 17th, 18th place.
Yeah, team orders. He's
team
like, yeah,
orders.
really need team orders.
And then Colapinto said, no, babe, I'm passing. See ya. F1 TV, I feel like they just, I don't know, maybe Singapore just wasn't it, and then they just had to like wake up, and then for Austin, they were awake, honey.
I was going to say maybe it was too hot in Singapore, but apparently it was very hot in Austin as well.
I've heard a lot of people online say that. Even people who like attended the race, they were like, dude, it was really, really hot.
Well, someone pointed out that there were some drivers that did not use the cooling vests. They didn't use them in Singapore that did use them in Austin. So I'm like, is Austin hotter than Singapore? And maybe less humid? I don't know. I don't know how humid.
See, to me, I'm like, I love when it's not as humid because you walk out. But I also have asthma, so like the humidness is harder for me to breathe. The drier air is easier for me too.
Yeah.
So maybe
dry heat is way less intense than humidity.
Yeah. So I don't know, but yeah.
So Lewis Hamilton finished in P4 and has now completed 19 Grand Prix for Ferrari without finishing on the podium, which is a new team record.
You know, I just feel like there's a lot of other things that could be said.
That was a very fun fact.
You know what I love about DC? On the F1 broadcast, somebody said that, and he goes, yeah, well, if you look at all his other stats, like the opposite way, they're insane. Like he is the only person that has X amount of points, like what, 5,000 points or something total. Like if you look at the other way around, they're just as crazy. Yeah. And he has more.
He is the only driver that has scored more than 5,000 points or 5,000 points.
Yeah, just around that or whatever. So I'm like, and he has plenty of stats.
Yeah.
That no one's, so you know what? Whatever.
We're just looking at this fun fact.
Who said it was fun? I want to know who's, you know what, whoever, I don't know, because I haven't looked. Whoever wrote this, like I said before, they hate Lewis Hamilton.
Well, to be fair, I call them fun facts, but I think the article is just facts and stats. I call them fun, though.
They're like, this is the only stat for Lewis Hamilton, and you're welcome.
I like when the facts are a little bit shady.
Okay, I don't need to. You know what? Here's the thing, though. You don't have to make the stat every race when he doesn't make the podium. Now
Set
he's
another record.
another record of not getting it for Ferrari. Okay, we already... Shut the fuck up.
We get it.
Shut up.
Get the point.
Move on. Find something else.
Hamilton finished 4th in a Grand Prix for the 4th time this season. That podium really is just so elusive, and it's not just that he can't get the podium, it's that he's getting 4th. It feels like every time he's close to it, it just 4th. Barely out of place for it.
We're gonna get it. I feel confident. And you know what? Maybe it'll be Brazil.
Maybe. He does love Brazil.
And Brazil loves him.
He's an honorary Brazilian citizen.
Yeah. So maybe the spirit of Senate will just wash through him.
Yeah.
And that's where we'll get his podium.
Maybe.
Maybe in Mexico, but I'm just like, Brazil will be special.
Yeah. I do feel like Lewis is in a better mood.
Yeah.
In terms of like especially before the summer break, he was very sort of like depressy-wessy.
Me too.
Yeah, honestly.
Same.
But he was very kind of like down and like, woe is me, and maybe I've just lost it and I don't have it and I never had it and I just ain't got it anymore and I can't do anything with this car and everything. It's like literally the world is just gray. And then he came back from summer break and like he's done some interviews even like this weekend where he seemed much happier, in a better place mentally.
Sometimes you just gotta,
take a second.
Yeah.
And yeah, they were asking him, so are there positives to take away from this weekend? And he's like, oh yeah, a ton of positives. Like the car felt really good. And, so he just was feeling very optimistic.
Maybe he just had to come to terms with like, this is the year that it is.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't this magical year of, Lewis joins Ferrari and gets his 8th world title with him. It's legendary. That's not what this year is. Instead of being irritated that I'm not doing that, let me figure out what to do to this car. Let me figure out, like, maybe, he's just taking a different approach of what he wants to gain from this year. So, I don't know.
Fun fact number 3 about Lewis Hamilton.
Is it fun?
Lewis Hamilton has never scored fewer than 5 podium finishes in an F1 season. He has 0 podium finishes so far this year.
I don't like this person. Honestly,
that's a crazy stat, though. In every season prior to this one, he has never scored fewer than 5 podiums.
Lewis was on the podium his very first Formula One race.
That's crazy.
If you
do look at the stats in the opposite way, you're right. They are crazy.
You're like, oh wow.
Yeah.
So you know what? Suck it.
Suck it.
Suck it. Respectfully.
Oscar Piastri took P5 and has had no podium finish in any of the last 3 Grand Prix, and he has scored 22 points.
Yeah, he's been a little jostled lately.
Yeah, I don't know if he just doesn't like this particular track.
I think they said this, it's like his 3rd year, but I don't think he's done well, is what they were saying. Like, he hasn't excelled at this track.
Yeah, which I love Austin. I don't know. We didn't say this at the top of the episode. This is one of my favorite tracks to watch because I think we said in our last episode, we were talking about the upcoming race.
Love it.
That it basically, this track is like a Frankenstein of all the different components of like other tracks around the world, but it's like the best parts of them.
Yeah.
And so like, I just think it's a really fun looking track to drive. I mean, the shots on TV, there's this one shot of them coming through, I want to say it was like a chicane sort of area, but it was down a hill. So you could really see the elevation change and where the camera was placed. They went, you could see them come all the way down and they were zooming into the camera. It just looks so good. I mean, it just lends itself to some really cool optics and stuff.
I really like this one.
Yeah.
And I also think another thing about it too is this is one of the tracks that like F2 and F3 I guess haven't really raced. So that would be another reason that Oscar is even more of like a foot behind, because at least when he was in the lower series, there are a lot of tracks he already has experience on. But like a lot of the rookies, this was their first time at this track. And so Oscar is still, even though this is his 3rd year, he'd still be a little bit behind compared to like the other experienced drivers like on this track. So I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah, he just was not on form at all this weekend. I mean, even the last couple of weekends, he's had some stuff be like unluckily go his way, in terms of like incidents or
Singapore. Hate to say that was all by himself.
Yeah, but
I don't know. That was crazy. So and
then he got taken out in the sprint race. this time around, and it was just, but also his qualifying wasn't great.
Yeah, I don't know. Oscar's just, we'll see in Mexico. I still think he's like, I don't know. It makes me wonder. What's curious about it is a lot of people have said, McLaren at this point, they're not really developing this car anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Now everybody else is like kind of caught up. So now you're kind of stuck with this weird thought of like, okay, like maybe it's Oscar's time to do or die of you need to start showcasing that racecraft, honey, because the car isn't going to be enough now.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's always had
pure race pace isn't going to be enough.
No, and I'm not saying he's been using that, but for the most part, he's mostly been having to battle Lando. And now it's like you're going to have to maybe change your approach now because you don't have that buffer anymore.
Yeah, I mean, this season has been defined by, clean air is king. If you can get your car ahead and into clean air and not have to fight the dirty air of the car in front of you, I mean, it's peace out. I mean, we saw with this race, Max got some clean. He was gone. He maintained the lead and was just out of there.
I mean, literally, like, second, third lap? See ya. Just gone.
So, I mean, and we've seen that in other races this year when one of the McLarens gets ahead or whoever ends up in P1 typically has been like flying and they just shoot out and like it's goodbye.
Yeah. I mean, and even once Lando had clean air, wasn't behind Charles anymore. I mean, he did start to gain on Max. I mean, he didn't have enough time. But I mean, that's just how critical it can be.
Yeah.
To really just find that clean air or figure out a way around somebody.
Yeah. So, I mean, even just qualifying well, getting good qualifying runs is critical. And then maintaining the P1 position out of the gate at the start of the race is critical to winning the race. It doesn't guarantee it, but you're like 90% guaranteed just about to win it if you can get that clean air. And yeah, I mean, like you said, it seems that the Red Bull car has been developed to a point where it is now caught up to, some people suggest it may have surpassed the McLaren in raw pace. People have suggested it. I don't know. I haven't seen enough to know. I haven't looked at the data.
I mean, you can look at Yuki. I'm just saying, if it was, I would just, if you use them as the markers, like Oscar and Piastri aren't that far apart from each other, but there's still there's a gap between Max and Yuki, and it's closing. And I mean, I understand Max is basically like,
he's Superman
on a completely different level than normal human beings. But even then, it's like Sergio Perez, when that car was, he was closer to Max.
Yeah.
So I just think the car's just better.
The Red Bull has caught up to close enough to the McLaren that Max can do his Maxi magic and pull out these crazy results. I mean, and we know that Max is a sort of driver who pushes it to the limit and utilizes the curb and will like fully send it on every single part of the track. And he's very good at doing that. And I mean, that's how he can secure, qualifying is like crazy.
Yeah.
So that's how he can secure the P1 in qualifying. And then he's very good at race starts too. All of this lends itself to him getting in that P1 position and then maintaining it.
Oh, 100%. I mean, Max is also just, he can find the grip. Like wherever the grip is, he's going to find it.
Yes. George Russell, driving for Mercedes, finished in P6, the same position he achieved when starting from the pit lane in the 2024 race last year.
I'm going to call this. It's not going to be this year. It may not be next year. But in the next few years, George Russell is going to be world champion. 100,000%. I would bet money on it. Do I know what year, honey? No. I wouldn't be surprised next year based on the information we've heard about the Mercedes engine. But I mean, George Russell, he's so easy to make fun of because he's just so like...
He's memeable.
He is, but I like it. He has continued to grow on me slowly. And I'm like, he's very talented.
Honestly,
and he's really good. And honestly, I think even though people talk about Charles and Max all the time battling, I think George and Max battling is gonna be, could be even crazier just because
Max and Charles give each other a certain amount of respect and space on the track because they know they'll take each other out if they don't. Like, Charles is crazy. There's a reason there's an incident meme.
It's so funny.
Like, Max and other drivers have noted it too, that Max treats Charles differently and battles him differently on track because he knows Charles will kill them both. I think that Max and George have a different sort of relationship when it comes to driving on the track. And Max believes that George will back out of it.
I think he thinks that too. And I think
that George is
Gonna show him
gonna prove him wrong.
I do too. I think there's gonna be this moment where everyone's gonna go.
There comes a time with certain drivers, and I think maybe Lewis has made this point before when him and Max were battling a lot.
Mm-hmm.
There comes a time with certain drivers when you just have to keep your foot in and to prove a point, to scare them into never doing that. You have to show, even at the cost of your own race, for future races. And
You need to establish who you're racing.
yes,
So it's like, listen, do it.
do it once.
I'll wreck us both, dude. Every time you think you're gonna dive bomb me, we're both going out.
I will never concede.
No, I will.
And
Exactly.
that's kind of how Max drives, but there's certain drivers that he doesn't do that to. And Charles Leclerc is one of them.
I just want to see them battle. But anyway, yeah, George Russell, I just am like,
We said at the start of the season,
dark horse.
he's a dark horse.
Mhm.
And I still stand by that.
I do too.
I totally think he's in the top 5 drivers on the grid right now. Who would be your top 5 drivers on the grid?
Obviously, Lewis Hamilton,
Yeah.
Max Verstappen, Charles Leclerc. Okay, question.
Mhm.
Let's sidebar. Let's restart this. Is the top 5 I'm at in the car they're in now, or just do I think their actual skill overall as a driver?
Overall skill
ever.
racecraft.
Okay. Lewis Hamilton, Fernando Alonso, Max, Charles Leclerc. That was really easy. Now the last one's hard.
Is George not in there? He's not in your top 5?
I'm thinking.
Do we need to go? You're like, who's on the grid? I don't know any of the drivers.
No, I'm trying to think like
Lando, Oscar, Yuki, Nico.
I was actually thinking of
Behrman,
I was thinking of Nico
Nico.
Hulkenberg but
Alex,
mm-mm,
Esteban,
mm-mm,
Isaac,
mm-mm.
No. Franco, Gabrielle, Bortoletto, Pierre Gasly, and Carlos Sainz.
It would probably, if I'm being honest, if I'd go off just what I've seen in skill, it would be a tie between George Russell and Isaac Hadjar.
Really?
Yeah, because I think Isaac has got that dog in him, and I would not be shocked within the next 10 years or so, even maybe sooner. I wouldn't be shocked to see him as world champion. He's so talented, but probably George. I'd say George Russell. I want to say Nico Hulkenberg, but I'm also just like I've seen more from George just based off where I've been watching, I guess. So, yeah. Who's your 5?
For sure, Max, Charles, and George are in there. And then my last 2, I rate Carlos Sainz very high. So I would say Carlos.
There's only one right answer after that.
Well, I mean, I'm getting bullied into saying Lewis Hamilton, but I guess
no one's bullying you to say that.
Lewis Hamilton. I mean, objectively, I know that Lewis is one of the, most dominant drivers in the history of Formula One. I'm aware of that. However, since I have been watching Formula One, I have not necessarily been able to see a lot of that.
Yeah.
And I've only been following the sport for a couple of years, and actually, this is only my second season actually watching races.
Yeah.
Instead of just watching like highlights and stuff. So, I mean, I'll include him in there, but I don't know that you can say based on.
You can have a tied one. My other, I would say Georgia. It's tied with Nico Hulkenberg.
Yeah. I mean, I'm okay with that top 5. I like that top 5.
Basically have the same, except Carlos. No, I think Carlos is great. I just was like, I love Alonso, and it's not even that I love. It's like, oh, I just love him. I'm like, man, but when that Aston Martin is speaking to him, move.
It just doesn't speak to him very often. They have an on-off relationship.
They're getting along a little bit better now, though.
Yeah.
So,
moving on to P7, Yuki Tsunoda.
Oh, Yuki, beautiful weekend, beautiful, absolutely wonderful Red Bull. You thought you knew who you were picking for that Red Bull seat next year. You better just take a step back, keep on watching, let the season play out, honey.
This was his best ever result at COTA. And he has scored 16 points in the last 3 race weekends. He managed just 12 points in the first 16 race weekends this year. So, I mean, just in the last 3 races, he has outperformed the 16 races prior to that. I do think that people have written off Yuki Tsunoda too soon. I think Red Bull is writing him off too soon. I think that they do have their eyes on some other drivers.
Laurent Mecchi knows. He knows.
He has worked with Yuki. He knows what Yuki
knows.
can do. I feel like if there was somebody that was going to fight for Yuki to even maybe not keep the Red Bull seat, but even to be at Racing Bulls, I think he would fight. Laurent would fight for Yuki to get that seat.
I think he would fight for him too.
Because he's worked with Yuki for, I think, a little bit longer. And I just think that Yuki has grown so much over the last, was he been in Formula One for 6 years now?
I don't know.
4 years, something like that. He started in 2020?
I don't know, Doug.
21? Something like that. I don't remember.
It's been a minute.
But since he joined Formula One, he has grown so much.
Yeah.
He is just a more all-around, like, just well-developed, like, all-around driver.
Yeah.
I think he's a reliable second driver. I don't think he's fighting for a championship, but he is a good second, like, support driver.
100%.
And because he's had to fill that role, he understands it. He has verbalized that in interviews that he's done. He has demonstrated it through his actions. I mean, with Sergio Perez, when he was partnered with Max at Red Bull, yeah, Sergio kind of knew that was his role, was to support Max as a second driver. But also Sergio Perez has that in him to be like, no, I'm going to go for the race win if I can. Max be damned. He had that in him. I'm not saying that Yuki is less competitive by any means. I just think he fully grasps and can fulfill that support role.
I think that if we're looking for somebody who's definitely not going to challenge that, I'm not saying Yuki, listen, if the car speaks to him, let's just say there's a world where him and Max are teammates next year and the car's great and it speaks to him, he's able to drive it. I'm not saying he wouldn't battle Max, but I do think he'd be more willing to fall into a number 2 role than Isaac Hadjar or Liam Lawson would.
Yes. I agree.
And I think that you'll have a lot more incidents with Liam Lawson and probably Isaac if that were the case. I think Yuki would be a better number 2.
I agree.
So
Nico Hülkenberg finished P8 for Kick Sauber. This was his first points finish since his podium result at Silverstone.
Yes. Nico.
Yeah. He, in the sprint race, had a moment. He qualified super well.
Yeah, but that moment was like a domino effect from like Alonso, Hulk. It was just racing.
It was a racing incident. Shit happens, bro. Like you can't be like, oh, he was. What did Zach Brown say?
No business being there. But then he changed his mind once he saw it, and he was like, he goes, "I'm just kidding."
Yeah, I mean, Nico put the Sauber in P4 qualifying for the sprint race, which was just crazy. And then obviously he had the incident in the sprint race, so just unfortunate. We'll say it's unfortunate. But then to finish P8 in the Grand Prix, I mean, Nico, again, I think is one of the most solid, well-rounded drivers. I mean, if you're a midfield team, which I would say Sauber's at the bottom in terms of teams as of right now. But if you're a midfield team, why wouldn't you go after Nico Hülkenberg?
I'm keeping it. If I'm Audi, I'm going to keep Nico Hülkenberg.
Yeah, I agree.
And you should. If
you give him a call, seeing what he can do with this Sauber when it's not good. Just imagine what he could do with a car that can do something. Imagine what he could achieve for your team. I think he is an underrated driver.
100%. 100%. That's why I'm like, it's really hard.
Did we ever put him up on our wall? Oh, yeah, he is behind you. I was like, did we put him up?
He's behind.
That's why we got him on our wall for a reason.
He's up there.
So Hülkenberg finished 8th in Austin for the second consecutive season. It was Sauber's best Austin result since Hülkenberg finished 6th in 2013, his only previous season with the team. I didn't know that he raced for Sauber for a year prior.
I didn't know that.
That's crazy.
Good job, Hülkenberg.
Oliver Bearman finished P9 for Haas, so Haas scored in their home race for the second consecutive year.
He's been doing better the past few weekends. So it's okay. Ollie just had to find some form. He's right.
Yeah, he came in hot last year when he had to fill in for those couple races. But with Ferrari, I think we could maybe attribute some of that to the car and not as much to him. But he also did well in the Haas when he filled in last year.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
Yeah. No, he just kind of had you're almost kind of you're setting yourself up to fail in a way by performing really well at the start of the season and then having a dip and everyone's like, oh no.
He lost it.
Oh no. And I'm like, chill, they're rookies, dude. It's their first year in a Formula One car. Shut up.
Give them time to figure it out.
Damn.
Do you know Ollie, to me, he comes across as so happy-go-lucky.
I like him.
But to be a Formula One driver, you have to have a bit of a shark within you. And so I know that, how there's like a certain like stage performers that they're like, or singers are like, I assume a different persona when I'm on the stage than how I am in actual real life. I wonder if it's like that for the drivers. I know that they all say, it's different once the helmet goes on, the visor goes down, you're 100% focused on what you're trying to achieve. There are no friends. Like, it's me, myself, and I'm going to win. I know they say that, but like, I really wonder, like, what is his actual personality like, or like his mind within the car when he's in that? Like, is he still like happy-go-lucky, or does he actually like zone in? You know what I mean?
We'd probably get a better perspective if we watched more of the Formula 2 races. Because, I mean, him and Kimi, they were teammates last year. So I didn't follow the whole Formula 2 season or anything, but I'm like, I don't know.
And Kimi kind of gives me that vibe too. Maybe it's because they're young.
Yeah, they just have like, baby faces too. Like, yeah,
they give a little bit of like, I'm just happy to be here.
And Isaac is just very, he uses his body to express his emotions sometimes by like slapping his helmet and his steering wheel.
Yeah.
And so you kind of just get the vibe of where he is.
He's got like more aggression to let out.
The Frenchman comes out, son.
Yes. So yeah, I really, that's something that's interesting to me, is to see how like they can be kind of like happy-go-lucky, because the older drivers, they can be pleasant and funny and laugh and joke and smile and stuff in interviews, but they still have a level of like seriousness to them that like I can see it. Like I can see how they can turn that up more when they're in the car, like Charles Leclerc, or like even Lando Norris. He's got a very like sort of like bubbly personality, I think. But then like you can see there are certain moments where you're like, okay, I see where the shark kind of comes out. I could see it. But then, with Ollie Behrman and Kimi Antonelli, it's a little bit like, oh, you're just such babies.
Kimi did call Carlos Sainz an idiot, or he called him something when he spun him out. And I was like,
Kimi. Respect your elders.
Kimi's like, he literally just ran into me.
Fernando Alonso finished P10 for Aston Martin with his eighth Grand Prix points finish for the 2025 season.
Good job, Alonso.
Got that final 1 point for Aston Martin.
He got it, son.
Yeah. I feel like I want to see more of Fernando.
I do too.
Like his racing and stuff like that. And I know that Aston Martin hasn't been like great this season, but I feel like we're just not seeing much of him on track. Like, I don't know, like, at least last year, there were moments where the Aston Martin was kind of competitive, or he qualified in a position where he could hold people up. And so they were showing him more, at least during the races. I don't know that we've seen much of him at all this season.
No.
And so I'm like, oh, that's really unfortunate. I want to see. I need more Fernando Alonso in my life.
Me too.
I need more of him.
I love Alonso.
With the best of P11 for Liam Lawson, Racing Bulls finished the weekend pointless for the second straight race after a 5-race scoring streak.
Here we go with the pointless talk.
It was a pointless weekend for Racing Bulls.
Rude.
Yeah, I don't have much to say about Liam's race.
No, not really.
Kind of anonymous. I do enjoy the social media content from Racing Bulls.
I do too. Very funny.
Yeah, they're very on it. And like, I like that him and Isaac,
they lean into it.
They're very willing to be silly, goofy.
Yes.
For the gram.
They're very funny.
Yeah. I like there was one reel that they did where it was like Liam was like, after, this much time in Austin, Texas, he's got like a little bit of an accent.
Yeah.
And then after this much time, he's got like an accent and a toothpick. And after this much time, he's got a hat on, toothpick, the accent, and he's saying, howdy do. And it was just very funny.
No, I think it's very funny too. Their content's like funny. They had one with a guitar, and like Liam does sing and he can play guitar.
Yeah.
So that was very funny.
Yeah.
And like they just lean really hard into it.
I feel like Racing Bulls makes some of the less fun aspects of being a driver more fun.
For sure.
Especially if you're willing to lean in and do the goofy stuff.
Yeah.
Like Lewis Hamilton does not like, I haven't seen him really participate in the goofiness.
No.
He'll play the games if they make him. But I feel like he doesn't really want to.
Him and Charles, I mean, they have their thing, that they do or whatever. So,
but leaning into like the skit type of stuff.
No.
Lewis is just like, that's not my thing.
I don't think that's where they can focus. They're just, when you're a midfield team, you kind of have maybe the luxury of like, I could focus on this a little bit, or I can.
Yeah.
But when you're like in that other, when you're Ferrari, it's kind of like.
Yeah. And I know we've talked about before how demanding the media duties and just the duties in general of the drivers are outside of the racing part. Like, I know all these drivers, they're like, I really only want to do the racing part.
Yeah.
But talking to the media, doing social media content, doing sponsorships,
Part
all of
it.
that is part of the job, but it's the less like fun side of the job. But they have to do it. And I feel like Lewis probably has it written into his contract very specifically how much he has to do and when he has to do it and what he has to do. And he's like limiting it as much as possible.
Yeah.
Versus maybe some of the other drivers like the Racing Bulls drivers.
Which they probably, another reason too is, I mean, Lewis doesn't have to sell himself at any point in time. The younger drivers, having that social media clout, maybe that will help with sponsorships, so it could be a situation leaning more, like being more willing to do that when like Lewis and Alonso don't have to. Even though Alonso's he just likes to have fun sometimes. Yeah. Sometimes the admin will go, he made us post this.
He's like, do it, post it.
He goes, do it. I'm gonna.
Have you posted it yet? Did you do the thing? Did you post the thing I told you to?
I love it.
Kimi Antonelli, driving for Mercedes, came in P13. He set the fastest lap of the race for the third time this year.
I felt bad for Kimi, and I think he did a really great recovery job after being taken out by Carlos Sainz.
Yeah, we'll talk about more about him and all our other rookies and their individual performances in our rookie report that's coming up.
Yes.
Stay tuned. Carlos Sainz's DNF for Williams was the only retirement of the race after he took third in Saturday's sprint.
Yeah, it was like
so
on
sad.
the podium, not even on the grid. Bless.
And he was so optimistic going into the race. Like, we can maybe do something and achieve something, and then got that DNF. And he ended up getting a penalty after the fact. He got a grid penalty, I believe, for the next race because of the incident with Kimi.
I mean, it was what it was. I feel like everybody was like,
what were you doing?
Why would you do that?
Yeah. He said he pulled the same move on, who was it? Earlier in the race.
Well,
Behrman, I think.
But just because somebody else lets you get away with it doesn't mean another driver's going to let you get away with it. And the thing is, that's not the first time he has said that. Mm-hmm. There was another incident where he goes, I'd been doing the same thing and I never got a penalty. And I'm like, but just because you didn't get in trouble from it doesn't mean you weren't supposed to do it. Well,
no, he wasn't complaining about the penalty. He was more just saying like, I pulled off the same move in a similar spot against a different driver and it worked out fine. And then this time it didn't.
And Kimi said, You talked about establishing yourself. He won't do it again.
That's true. With teammate Alex Albon finishing P15, it was Williams' first pointless Grand Prix since Hungary.
Pointless.
Weekend.
Just over here in America, that feels aggressive.
Pointless. It was pointless. No point. And that is the end of our 5X.
None for you.
And none for Gretchen Wieners.
Fall for you, Glen Coco. You go, Glen Coco. And none for Gretchen Wieners.
So there is one thing I wanted to mention. This came out after the race ended. Red Bull got fined for one of their team members trying to tamper with Lando Norris's grid tape.
I don't like the word tamper. It sounds
more nefarious than what it was.
Yeah, I'm like.
So for those who don't know, basically, McLaren has they put a piece of like silver or gray tape on the side, one of the like walls on the starting grid, and it's a marker for Lando to know basically where to pull up in his grid box so he doesn't overshoot it and he's in the right spot. Yeah. So it's just a visual marker because they can't. It's very hard to. It's very almost impossible for them to actually see the lines on the ground.
I think a lot of some drivers use them, some don't.
Yeah,
I think Lewis used. I think I read where somebody has said he's used it in the past too. So I'm like,
yeah. So, but basically, the team and they've tried. They're using a different type of tape now. I don't know why that was relevant to the story, but it was that I guess one that works better is more adhesive. But basically, So what had happened was, Red Bull has been fined £43,000 after a member of the team broke regulations in an act of gamesmanship at the U.S. Grand Prix when attempting to remove a piece of tape from the pit wall placed there by McLaren to aid their driver, Lando Norris, in lining up correctly on the grid. The incident was an unusual example of low-level skullduggery between teams as Red Bull were caught out by CCTV cameras trackside, and the track stewards issued the fine for events which took place just before the start of the race. Norris was lined up in second place behind Red Bull's Max Verstappen on the grid at Austin, where some teams will use a piece of tape attached vertically to the trackside pit wall as a marking indicator for drivers of their grid box. And it says that there is nothing in the regulations against a team using duct tape in this fashion, but equally there is nothing preventing other teams from removing it. In this case, however, the employee in question had entered what is known as the gate well area after the formation lap had begun in an effort to remove the tape against the instructions of the marshals there. Entering this area when it had been cleared for the start is considered an unsafe act and carries a hefty fine.
Mm-hmm. Like a technical thing.
Yeah. It wasn't that he removed the tape that was the problem. It was the fact that it was after they had started the formation lap.
Mm-hmm.
They had already cleared that area and declared it safe for the start of the race.
Mm-hmm.
And the marshal was like, you can't go in there. And they disregarded the marshal's directions. And so, yeah, basically that's what happened. They said they tampered with the tape.
They tampered with it. They tampered with the crime scene.
And that all of that was pulled from an article by The Guardian, just for reference.
Thank you. I did see that. And then everyone in the comments is like, oh, here we go. So, dang.
I'm like, whose idea was it to do that? Like, was it just some random,
I don't know,
like garage person, member of the pit
No
team,
clue.
like random rebel person was like, let me go fuck with his tape.
I don't know. And I'm sure there's a story, or maybe there's like, I don't know.
Somebody dared him to do it.
I don't know.
Was he instructed to try to do it and get it? Like, there's got to be more to the story. Did they take
the story?
it upon themselves to do it?
Listen, if you're an insider, just send us an anonymous email and tell us the tea.
I wonder if it was like someone was like, try to remove his grid tape before the formation lap, and then they forgot. And so the formation lap started and they're like, shit, I gotta go get the tape. I was told to get the tape. And then they disregarded the marshal's instructions, and that's what led to the fine.
I don't know.
I'm
weird.
like, I'm here pure conjecture. I'm like, I wonder.
I want to know.
But yeah, that was the only other really like big storyline I want to talk about.
Okay. Well, we'll talk about our rookies then. So this will be a little bit longer than normal because we have the sprint just to touch upon and the main Grand Prix. So we will get into our rookie report. Kimi Antonelli, in the sprint, he qualified 11th. He finished 8th, so 1 point. And in the Grand Prix, he qualified 7th and he finished 13th, so no points for a total points haul of 1 point.
We'll take it.
Yeah. So in the sprint race, Kimi played the patient game early on, sitting behind Behrman before making a clean pass to secure P8 and the final point. Mercedes praised his measured approach and consistency throughout the short race. And in the Grand Prix, it was a little more frustrating for him. He had contact with Carlos Sainz, which spun him into the gravel. And despite recovering well on the softs, he could only climb back to P13. But that's all right, Kimi. It was a good recovery drive. Isaac Hadjar, in the sprint, he qualified 12th, and he finished 12th, so no points. In the Grand Prix, he did not qualify because he spun out, and he got very angry. And I understand, because I would have been doing the exact same thing. And then he finished 16th, so no points for a total points haul of no points.
Fat, big old goose egg.
Yeah, but that's all right. So in the sprint, he got boxed in through turn 1 and couldn't capitalize on the chaos, finishing P12 after struggling for grip and straight line speed. So he just, And in the Grand Prix, he started from the back on hards, and it proved costly. The long stint strategy did not pay off, and he finished a P16 and called it a weekend to learn from. So pretty uneventful for him. Not a good weekend. Franco Colapinto. In the sprint, he qualified 17th and he finished 14th, so no points. In the Grand Prix, he qualified 15th and then finished 17th, so no points, for a total points haul of no points.
Franco, my guy.
Come on, dude.
I mean, is he going to be in Formula One next year?
Rude?
I'm just asking. Has he announced, do we know?
No, we don't know.
We don't know.
No.
Okay. I know that the Alpines are shit. I am aware. But I have not been impressed by anything he has done this season.
No, but I mean, to be fair, it's a shitbox car.
I know.
And he's new, and Pierre Gasly has so much more experience to try to do anything with it. So.
Have we heard any news about the evil guy? He runs the evil mastermind.
I think he's staying there. I don't know. I don't think we've heard anything.
What was his name?
It's
He's like the mustache twirler, Flavio Briatore.
Yeah.
He's the mustache twirling villain.
That is a villain name.
Yes, Flavio Briatore.
So
sorry, that was a random sidebar.
no, it's good. In the sprint, his race was undone at turn 1 after contact left him with a puncture, forcing an early stop and ending hopes of points, ending in P14. And in the Grand Prix, he had another tough outing. He lacked pace and ignored a team order while overtaking Gasly late on. He finished P17 with Alpine vowing to review the incident internally. Listen, chill the hell out about all that. That's crazy. Like Joyland Palmer said, oh, team order to protect 17th, 18th. Chill out, dude. Come on. Please. Ollie Behrman. In the sprint, he qualified 16th and he finished 15th, so no points. In the Grand Prix, he qualified 8th and he finished 9th, so 2 points for a total points haul of 2 points.
We'll take it.
In the sprint, he looked set for points before running wide, defending from Antonelli. The move earned a 10-second penalty that dropped him from P8 to last, overshadowing a strong performance. And now, at first I was confused when it said last, and then I realized we lost like 5 drivers in turn 1 during the sprint. So, all right then. And in the Grand Prix, he rebounded, and with an assertive run in the top 10. A spin while battling Tsunoda cost potential P7, but he still finished P9, his second straight points finish in a Grand Prix. So, yeah, I think that's just inexperience for him. And it is what it is. Yuki was like, hello? I don't think so. Gabriele Bortoleto. In the sprint, he did not qualify because he also had an oopsie. So we had 2 rookies have oopsies in qualifying. One in the sprint, which is Gabrielle, and then we had Isaac have an oopsie in the Grand Prix qualifying, if I remember that correctly. Yes, it did. So he finished 11th in the sprint, so 0 points. In the Grand Prix, he qualified 16th. He finished 18th, so 0 points, for a total points haul of 0 points.
Another goose egg.
Yeah.
Our rookies did not do well.
No, but this was their first time here, so
yeah.
a lot of it's probably that.
That's true.
So in the sprint, he avoided the turn 1 chaos and climbed from last to P11, just outside the points, but a very good drive, so, he at least had a lot of recovery. In the Grand Prix, contact with Albon on lap 1 and a slow stop ended any chance of a comeback. He finished P18 and described it as a weekend of lessons rather than results. Liam Lawson. In the sprint, he qualified 15th. He finished 9th, so no points. In the Grand Prix, he qualified 12th. He finished 11th, no points, for a total points haul of no points.
Oof.
In the sprint, he ran close to the top 10 all race and brought home P9, narrowly missing points but showing solid pace. In the Grand Prix, he spent most of the afternoon chasing Alonso and fending off Stroll. He crossed the line at P11, just 1 spot shy of the points after a consistent and composed drive, so both races just out of the points. So we'll see how it goes next weekend. And last but not least, our favorite rookie, Fernando Alonso. In the sprint, he qualified 6th. He did not finish the race because
he was the domino that started the fall.
Yeah, so no points. In the Grand Prix, he qualified 10th and he finished 10th. So 1 point.
Yay!
For a total points haul of 1 point. In the sprint, his race ended pretty much immediately with a turn 1 puncture after contact in the opening melee. In the Grand Prix, he kept his nose clean and took advantage of others' mistakes to grab P10. It wasn't a flashy drive, but it secured Aston Martin a valuable point to end a tricky weekend. So yeah, that wraps up our rookie report. And we can now talk about our best and worst segment. So my driver of the day is Yuki Tsunoda. Let me explain in quick detail as to why. In the sprint race, he qualified 18th and he finished 7th, gaining 11 places. Mind you, the sprint race is short. He avoided all that chaos in turn 1.
Short race. What more needs to be said?
So in a way, you could say him qualifying as low as he did probably saved him from getting knocked out.
Mm-hmm.
And so he gained 11 places. And to top it off, in the Grand Prix, he qualified 13th. He finished 7th, gaining 6 places. So overtake king. Positions gained king. Yuki, good job.
That was a great defense of Yuki for driver of the day.
Yes.
My driver of the day has to be Charles Leclerc because when Ferrari gets a podium, there is no other choice for me.
That's fair.
Especially when it's Charles.
That's fair.
So
remember those words. All I know is if when Lewis gets that podium,
he better be my driver of the day.
We better be fighting for that driver of the day. We better just be in agreement. So now, the biggest letdown, Carlos Sainz, because he did so great in the sprint. You know, he avoided the chaos. He got lucky. He got his podium. He did a really good job. The crowd was screaming for him. And then, he wrecked himself.
He didn't check himself.
No,
he wrecked himself.
Yeah, and it's just one of those things that didn't have to be that ambitious. It was completely avoidable, and there was just no reason for it. And it just disappointed me after seeing him do so well in the sprint.
Yeah, my biggest letdown, I'm gonna have to go with Fernando Alonso for being the domino that started the fall in the sprint race. It was just, it did cause a lot of drama, and it did lead to your driver of the day, Yuki, being able to gain all those positions. But I think that, I don't know, I hate to see that many drivers taken out in that way and not be able to fight and race,
I agree. Some might argue that that's the reason he's their driver of the day, because it let Max get all of them points and then McLaren's got none.
It did lead to the craziest shot when you see the onboard of the drivers behind, when literally they're dodging a wheel, fully bouncing across, and they're dodging the cars and the debris and all that. It was a nuts shot. But yeah, I guess my biggest letdown of the weekend will be Fernando.
How dare you? How dare you? There are some people that are sacred that are just they just cannot. You've broken.
Well, who else can be my biggest letdown? Friggin' Franco Colapinto, Pierre Gasly. They didn't let me down. I have no expectations for them.
Oh, let's see.
Kimi.
No, Kimi did good. He literally got spun out and then climbed as much as he could.
Who else?
You can just pick Carlos too. It's too late. You spoke your truth.
I spoke my truth.
So now, last but not least, so we can wrap it up, we have our next race teaser.
Every time I do this, it moves my hat.
So
I'm agreeing too hard.
An agreement. All right. So our next race teaser, it'll be round 20, the Formula One Gran Premio how do you say this? You say it.
Gran Premio de la Ciudad de Mexico. I said that with such an American accent.
Mexico. So last year's main race result was Carlos Sainz, Lando Norris, and Charles Leclerc. Some track stats. The first GP was held in 1963. It is 71 laps long. The circuit length is 4.304 kilometers, which is about 2.67 miles. The race distance is 305.584 kilometers, which is about 189.88 miles. The race lap record is 1 minute and 17.774 seconds, held by Valtteri Bottas, which was set in 2021.
That's a really short lap.
It's a shorter track.
Short track.
Yeah, so it's only Austin was 3 point something miles long, and this one is 2.6 something miles long, lengthwise, circuit length. So the qualifying lap record is 1 minute and 15.024 seconds, which is held by Charles Leclerc, which was set in 2019. There is an unofficial lap record, which was set by Max Verstappen, but he ended up getting a grid penalty or something later, so it doesn't technically count.
Mm-hmm.
But if it would have, he would hold it.
Okay.
So, but the actual official one is by Charles Leclerc. And there are 2 DRS zones. So what is this track like? It has high altitude, high drama. Mexico City's 2.2 kilometer high circuit combines long straights, technical corners, and the roar of the stadium, because there's a baseball stadium or something around there. It's a very interesting track. I mean, there's a lot to do there.
Mm-hmm. It's a purpose-built track, but it's in the middle of a bunch of stuff, where a lot of these other purpose-built tracks are kind of in the middle of a field somewhere or you got to take like a bus to get there.
Yeah.
It's a little bit of a hike out there. This one is in the middle of everything.
Yeah, and so it's like they've called it one of F1's most electric backdrops because there's literally like stadium seating around it in certain areas. So the tire, like what tires are going to be used and what is the strategy? So we're going to see the C3, the C4, and the C5, which is the softest in the range. Not technically because there is the C6 that I think everybody kind of hates. So we're not, but we're not using that anymore in the year, I don't think. So the smooth surface and thin air mean low tire wear. So expect mostly one-stop strategies unless temps spike or the traffic builds up in the stadium. So that is something to consider. We are very high above sea level. So the air is going to be thinner.
Yes.
So it will be interesting to see how the aerodynamics work.
And we're closer to the sun.
So, yeah.
I'm thinking like temperature-wise, it would probably affect some things.
I was like, you're not wrong.
You're not incorrect.
Yeah,
but why does it matter?
correct.
Because they're closer to the sun and heat rises.
Yeah. So the biggest thing that we care about is, can we overtake here? Yes, we can. Definitely, actually. The main straight into turn 1 is one of F1's best passing zones with another chance through turns 4 through 6. Reduced drag and at altitude helps top speeds, but you'll need strong brakes to make it count. So we're going to see a lot of slipstream. We're going to see a lot of that, but you better be good on the brakes or you're going to be sorry. So I think it'll be a fun race. From what I remember, it was fun last year. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
And we'll eat tacos before.
We will. That'll be yummy. So sidebar before we close the episode. I went to Petit Le Mans at Road Atlanta, which is, if you don't know what I'm talking about, there's a racing series called IMSA. It is endurance racing, and look it up. And if you are familiar with it, then you would recognize him. I got a Rexy plushie, and I'm very happy about it. I love him. Isn't he adorable? So now he's going to be our little mascot. And
he got a little cowboy hat, so he matches
he's got
us.
a cowboy hat. I have to put it like this because I had no way to do this. So anyway, but yeah, on social media, I've posted some of the videos that I've just been posting on the Waypod account, some of the videos and pictures I've taken. So that was a really fun experience. It was super cool. So
who won?
Girl, I don't know.
Oh.
Endurance racing is so, I mean, I'm not saying I couldn't tell you, but I ended up leaving like 2 hours before. It's like a 10-hour long race or something. And it was the biggest one they've ever had.
With the most people there?
With the most people. I mean, they were so overran. Even if you had bought parking, which we got there early, so we got to park in there, they had to turn people away and then refund them their parking. There was no room, like, because you've been there for a road or for a Formula Drift. It was, I've never seen it look like that in my entire life.
Wow,
it was insane.
They would have had to way oversell.
They did, and they were basically like, dude, because they made a post about it later, like Road Atlanta did. They said, "Bruh, I'm sorry.
We had no idea.
It was the biggest turnout they
had ever had. Never had to put a cap on tickets sold for an event before.
Yeah, well,
or it's like, at least now you know what your capacity is, or you can budget, because I'm sure like some cars are bigger and take up more space, and maybe the parking wasn't as efficient, and you could maybe squeeze a couple more in there if you were super efficient with the parking, but still, because a lot of it's parking in like fields.
Oh yeah, we had to end up parking. We ended up just picking a spot, like on the, like, literally, do you remember one year where we parked where there was like a bathroom near there?
Yeah.
That little stretch of back road there, we ended up just parking on that fence because we had nowhere else to go.
Yeah.
So it was crazy, but it was a lot of fun. So if you're in America and you can't afford a Formula One race, look up IMSA. They do the Rolex 24-hour, which you'll see all over social media. They do so many races, and there's actually a lot of drivers that used to be Formula One. Like Logan Sargent was there. James Hinchcliffe was there. Kevin Magnussen was there. Cool. There was so there's a lot of known drivers that go and do this. So it's a really cool experience. I would totally recommend it.
Yeah, I think honestly, if you're into Formula One, you'll probably like other motorsports.
100%.
And like the atmosphere of a live race or in a motorsport event is so cool. It's just really fun.
It is.
And I think you would enjoy it. So like, you don't let the, seeing how expensive it is to go get tickets to a Formula One race, don't let that prevent you from like seeking out other racing events.
Yeah.
Because there are a ton of other ones.
There are so many other ones. And IMSA is so cool because you have such like, the access you get is insane. Like,
you get to be right up on the track.
Yes.
And they do obviously have fencing and barriers and stuff, but it's like pick your own seat, basically.
Yeah, I mean, but you just get to you have so much access. Even like at Daytona, we were literally in the paddock, like next to the garage, where the trailers are and stuff. I mean, you can't go in the pit when they're racing or whatever, but it's like you can get so close to everything. It's so cool. I would definitely recommend it.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, that wraps up Austin. So we'll see you guys after Mexico. Bye.
Bye. Like,
I know, like,
do a little hat tip. Howdy.
wait, how would you say bye? I know how to say how. Like, what's the country way to say bye?
Adios, amigos.
Peace out.